Okay, Internet friends, it is Friday the 13th, and the news coming out of Gaza just keeps getting grimmer and grimmer. Give me 1 second here, folks. Okay, Gaza, get the mic up closer here. Gaza, already the densest population on the face of the earth, is now being ordered by the IDF, the Israeli army, that everybody in the northern parts of Gaza are now being ordered to move south. That's 1.1 million people are being forced to move south into southern Lebanon, on southern parts of Gaza. And of course, that means the Israeli army is going to take over the northern half. And once Israel takes something over, folks, they don't give it back. And I hate to sound like a soothsayer or the last prophet, heaven forbid, but I said that Israel was going to steal the lands of Gaza. And I said that they were going to force a humanitarian crisis. And that things would get so bad that even the Egyptians and people that have had their borders closed for years, thanks to Israel's blockade, are going to suddenly be forced to open their borders and let the poor Palestinian refugees flee from all the violence. If you've been watching the videos coming out of Israel, it is absolutely devastating what is going on in the Gaza Strip. I mean, they have nothing to fight back with. And Israel has gone so far now that Uncle Sam has a couple aircraft carrier. There's at least one aircraft carrier. I don't know. There was talk of sending another one to the region, but there's one there for sure. And just for good measure, while the aircraft carrier is parked there, Israel feels emboldened, so they did some serious damage to the Aleppo airport and to the airport in Damascus, Syria. So, it's not just Israel's got a war on. They're also aggravating their neighbors in Lebanon and Syria while they're at it. And they know that if those nations respond, that is likely to bring Uncle Samstein into the war. So, and Uncle Samstein, you know what side he's going to come in on, don't you? He's there right now making sure, now get this, a people that doesn't even have an army, navy, air force, he's making sure that a country that does have not only an army, a navy, and an air force, but nuclear weapons. Uncle Sam is there to make sure they don't run out of bullets, folks. Now, I don't know what kind of sadistic planet I died and woke up on, but that is definitely this planet here, the planet Earth. I can't think of anything sadder in the world than what is going on to the poor people of Palestine. They've had nothing but 76 years of abuse and brutal oppression and cruelty at the hands of the Israeli people, and yet you have the most powerful and wealthy nations in the world all seem to be magically under their control, and all of them are standing up for not the weak nation, not the oppressed nation, but for Israel, the oppressors. And anybody who dares, I notice, anybody that dares in the Western nations stick up for Palestine or stick up for the people of Gaza, to be more specific, to stick up for the people of Gaza. If you support Gaza, well, that means you support Hamas. And if you support Hamas, then you support terrorists. Therefore, we can shorten the step and say if you support Gaza, you support the terrorists. And that's just not true. That's not true at all. But that is the conflation that's being made in an effort to silence any criticism in the West. From France to Canada, I can tell you in Canada, they've cut, most of the newspapers aren't allowing comments on it. They're just shutting down the comments sections, and a lot of places it's all the news is all the news that's being reported in the West is all pro-Israeli news, and anybody with a dissenting opinion is being effectively silenced and shut down. And that's what's happening in the West. That's what's happening in Canada. That's what's happening in the United States. So it's not bad enough that these poor people have to get a thumping from one of the largest armies in the world. It's not bad enough that they've got to lose all their land that they once had, but they get to be humiliated, shitting in their own backyards because all the water and electricity and food has been cut off for several days now. Most of the religious sites have been blown up. Of course, so that's where all the terrorists are. The terrorists are in all the religious sites. You wouldn't believe where the terrorists. The terrorists are literally everywhere. As a matter of fact, there's so many of them, there's no way Israel can tell the Palestinians from the regular, from a terrorist. So they're just going to have to bomb it all down flat. And that's what they're going to do. And once they bomb it all down flat, they're going to bulldoze it. It'll already be conveniently rubble. And then they can start to rebuild and put Israeli settlements in the area. And they will never, ever, ever give the land back to the Palestinians. Just like what happened in the Nakba 1.0, there was no right to return. So if these people leave, keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if these people leave the region, they will not be allowed to come back. It's Israeli policy. You leave, you can return. Jews have the right of return, but Arabs and Israelis, Arabs and Palestinians, there is no right of return at all. So I'm calling this the Nakba 2.0, the crueler edition, and it certainly seems to be going that way. I said it was going to be a brutal occupation, and think about it, it was the densest place on earth, and now they're going to force those people to live in less than half of that space again. And so they're going to be even more densely packed. Now think about this, they're denser packed still, but they got to poop and defecate all around them. There's no place to go. And so this is going to very quickly spread disease, and the world is going to look at this as a humanitarian crisis. And then, like I said, the borders are going to open up. The Palestinians are going to be forced to flee, and whammo, Israel has gained control of the Temple Mount and the Golan Heights all in one shot, and not only that, had the blessing of the NATO states to do it as well. So that is the news, folks, on Friday the 13th. It is indeed a curse. Nothing good is happening for the people of Palestine. It's pretty much a one-sided affair, as most of us knew it would be. Don't look for any help to come. Uncle Samstein is keeping everybody at bay so that there will be no help. And anybody that does help is going to get a serious reprimanding from Uncle Sam. On the UN level, Uncle Samstein, I should say, has been vetoing absolutely all resolutions that have ever been brought against Israel to attempt to bring Israel into compliance with the laws of the UN. Israel refuses to comply. They out and out give the UN the finger, and Uncle Sam stands up and says, and that goes double for us. Because Uncle Sam, being a founding member of the UN, has the authority to veto any legislation it deems unworthy. And of course, any legislation that offended Israel was vetoed by the United States of America. So don't look for any changes. Don't look for any help coming. These people are going to be suckered out of their land. With the blessing, like I said, of the Western states, which all seem to be, like I said, Zogs, as they say, Zionist-occupied governments. I don't know how else to explain it. How else can we explain it? There's two things I can count on: that the West will hate Russia and love all things Israel. And why is that? Why is it? Why do they have so much influence? I guess we're not allowed to know, as the old saying says, to find out who rules over you, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. And in this case, you're not allowed to criticize Israel, and that is very clear. There's a reason I'm on BitChute. That's because I'd already be banned on 3 platforms if I'd have put this on YouTube. YouTube would have banned me, and then PayPal and Facebook would automatically ban me because they're all tribal-held assets. So if one bans them, they all tend to ban you. And call you an anti-Semite to boot, whether you are or whether you aren't. So anyways, there's the news as I know it. I may do another video later on in the day. It is fairly early. It's 2:45 in the afternoon here. By the time I get this video out, it'll be closer to 4:30 in the afternoon here in Canada. So anyways, I'm glad that my nation is not suffering through this, but I'm ashamed of how my nation is responding to this crisis in the Middle East. But All right, that's 10 minutes. I'll see you folks on the next one. Thanks, those of you who have subscribed to my channel. I appreciate all my subscribers, each and every one of you. Thanks for signing up.